From lead singer of Great Big Sea, this gentleman has decided to write a book. I don't know if this is his first one. We'll find out in a few moments. Please welcome Alan Doyle, who is here with us today. Is this your first one, Alan?
It is. Thanks for having me.
You're a writer of books now?
The energy of this place is fantastic, by the way. For those of you at home, you should come here for 10 minutes. It's like going to the gym. It's fantastic.
Love this book. I mean, it smells new. It smells great. And it has, look, Kate, it has pictures and everything.
It has some pictures in
this is wonderful. Can we say that chapter?
I don't think so.
Here, this is the one I'm thinking of. Chapter 4.
On TV.
Well, I don't want to get in trouble, but there are a few unsavory titles. Now, the book is really a love letter to my mom and dad and to my family growing up in Petty Harbour, and how growing up in this little small, isolated little place really served as the backbone for everything that came after it, you know, and all the cool little superhero kind of stories and the people that, the lessons I learned working on the wharf with the fishermen and learning to play music with my mother and father and my uncles and the family band and all that stuff, and how it all led to, you know, me being ready when the greatest job in Newfoundland history.
There you go. You know, we all talk about the history that we have with our family, our upbringing. Are there times that you find people that you have met over the years have forgotten about where they came from, forgotten about the essence of who they are because of their roots?
I think
because you haven't.
No, and that was never a temptation for me because, you know, it's so ingrained into what I do, especially as a folk musician and a traditional musician, that kind of thing. I think for a lot of people, other than forget probably where they're from, is that it honestly just wasn't that big a factor in their young lives. You know, they dreamt of. They dreamt of being elsewhere right away and moved on or whatever, and perhaps where they are in their adult lives is more important or whatever. Whereas for me, and that's where the whole title of the book comes from, I'm so lucky not only to get to live where I want and where I call home. I'm really lucky to have a home, because a lot of people don't even have one. They wouldn't know if they were given all the money and time in the world, go exactly where you're supposed to be today.
See?
They wouldn't know where that was, you know, so.
And you say that you know a lot of folklore stories, sort of, about the East Coast. Did you have to do a lot of research to actually?
No, well,
he's part of the folklore.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a guy. Oh yeah, I remember Alan way back when. Yeah.
The big thing about this book is it's all stories about about people and experiences I had in my own little town, and you know, because my little fishing town was a fishing town at the heyday of the Newfoundland inshore fishery. I never had to look very far for zany characters and cool experiences because I had them all myself, right? You know, and like, so my story is going to sound like they're from a library of the folklore stuff, but they actually happened to me.
There's some people on the back of this cover too, kind sir. Jan Arden. Oh, who's this Russell Crowe guy? Russell Crowe says,
struggling young actor.
He certainly is. Excellent adventure. I feel like I've lived another's life.
Yeah,
well, those are kind words.
Yeah, I was very grateful to Jan, especially. You know, this is her hometown, and Jan has been a hero of mine for a long time. And Jan wrote the foreword in the book, and I think one of the great Canadian, or not even just Canadian, one of the great memoirs I've ever read is Jan's book. And
here, read what Jan has to say.
Jan said, she said, a wonderful, interesting, crazy, desperately beautiful journey. Alan's musicality seeps through his prose, giving every tale a touch of his poetic soul. Thank you, Jan.
Wow. You should do an audiobook on this.
I would.
And narrate it.
It'd be great fun.
I want to hear that.
So I asked you a little bit earlier, what is it like going from touring as a band to touring as an author?
Early. Shocking early.
It's the opposite.
This stuff is, it's literally your day is kind of flipped around, because most of my activity starts around 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, right? And rolls. And of course on these book tours, like we're doing morning television and chatting to people on the radio and that kind of stuff early in the day, you know. And it's like I found myself a few times back at a hotel at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock by myself, going like, is this what grown-ups normally do on the road? This is so, wow, what do we do now? Like
no kidding.
That's when I'm the most awake.
And you don't have the companionship of your band with you,
Yeah,
right?
that's kind of strange too, because I'm, you know, normally I'm with a band of gypsies, right? And like-minded fools up and down the halls of a hotel and the like. So it's a little different, but I'm really enjoying bringing my family's story and the story of my hometown, Petty Harbour, and the Doyles in Petty Harbour to the rest of the country and the rest of the world.
What kind of response are you getting from your family and friends and team?
Oh, good. I've been nothing but
bandmates?
support so far, man. I'm very grateful and lucky, you know, to have, you know, have them be, you know, supportive and proud of having our own story out there, even if it's told through my lens, you know. But I think I wanted to write a love letter to my mom and dad, the Doyles of Petty Harbour, and Petty Harbour itself, because it deserves it.
If someone meets up with you today, and they will have an opportunity to meet up with you today, it's happening at 7 tonight?
Yeah, at Chinook Chapters. Yeah.
Chapters Chinook.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from the Calgary crowd? Because we love you for your music. Do you think people are going to take you serious as an author?
I hope not. I certainly hope not.
That's right. Here, I'll sign it, but don't take me serious.
They're smarter than that. I mean, no, you know what? I think people have been delighted so far that, and it's consistent. They come up and said, when they say, I read your book and it sounds like you.
Nice.
That's
a compliment.
I'm very grateful for that, because I was really worried about that. I was worried that when I'd write a book and it would sound like a different dude, you know.
Yeah.
And so I did it, you know, the only way I know how. I'd write a chapter. I'd go down into my studio in my house. I'd record myself reading it, and if it didn't sound like me, I redid it.
Look at that.
It's probably a very novice way to do it as a writer, I suppose, but it's the only way I knew how to do it, you know, because I'm used to listening to myself.
Yeah.
I'm not used to reading myself. So
do us a favor. Next time your band comes scooting on by here, bring the whole grand band. You know, let's have a chat.
The grand band, it'll be great.
Grand band.
I love it.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Alan Doyle, he's got a new book, and it's right there, Where I Belong.
And this one is signed, and we'll be giving it away on Twitter.
Oh, yes, good. Also, you can see this gentleman tonight, Chapters Chinook, starting at 7 o'clock. The lineups have already started. Alan, thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
this. This is Trending on Shaw. More to come. By the way, here's what's happening in and around our city. Back in a moment.